American country and Southern gospel singer and songwriter Larry Gatlin, who knew the king of rock and roll and Lisa's father, Elvis, joins me now. Larry, this is so sad to have heard this and your reaction tonight.
Well, hello, Laura. It's good to see you. I wish it were under different circumstances. You know, I was shocked. At 74 years old, I think I probably think in these days in which I live a little bit more about death, but than I did when I was 54 or 34 or 24. We are told those some Christian people say, well, you're not supposed to question God. I think that's malarkey. We wouldn't be human beings if we didn't question when things happen to young people like Lisa Marie, or to the young man who almost died the other day. But thanks to the grace of God, the paramedics brought the young football player back to life. So I'm very saddened by it. Their family has, so much tragedy in that family. And, one of my cousins, believe it or not, John Doan, who wrote No Man is an Island Unto Himself. We are all part of civilization. And when any person dies, it affects me because I am part of the main. I am part of civilization, part of humanity. So when our fellow man tragedy strikes like this, obviously it breaks our hearts. It really does.
Well,
and
Elvis,
I'm praying for the family.
Yeah, as everything I've read in the biographies of Elvis that I've been able to read over the last 25 years, he loved his daughter so much, and his only child. And she had to obviously understand her father's drug use. Her son struggled with addiction and committed suicide. It was well documented, her own stints in rehab and struggles with cocaine and other drugs. We have no idea what the cause of death was, ultimate cause of death, other than cardiac arrest, what caused the cardiac arrest. But this is really just a series, and obviously Michael Jackson dying after the use of propofol. So this is a series of tragic events.
Well, it really is. I've been in Nashville. Janice and I have lived in Nashville on and off for the last 50 years. And we have seen time and time again the children of famous people seem to have a tough road to go. And but all of us, who among us, those people out there right now trying to, buy bread, buy milk, buy diapers for their kids. We're kind of in a jam as a world and as a country. So it is time for us to kind of circle around and hug each other and pray for each other. Nothing we can say will really make them feel any better. But we say it anyway because our hearts have compassion for these folks. I knew Lisa Marie a little bit. In fact, I babysat with her many years ago, believe it or not, when her mom was good friends with Carlana Mosqueo, a friend of ours, and we were in Vegas, and she was just a baby, just an infant. So the few times I met her, she came on the Grand Ole Opry a couple of times. She was very sweet. I loved and respected her father. I think it's one of the tragic, it's like I say, it's tragic when anyone passes away, but especially in the prime of life. So the Gatlins are praying for all the Presleys and wishing that God's peace and comfort come to them.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. It's so many talented musicians. I mean, and obviously they're famous people. Michael Jackson, Prince, obviously, we don't know what happened in this case, but there's just so many. Jim Morrison, I mean, over the years, so many have passed away. Whitney Houston, the list goes on and on of people with just enormous talent.
Laura, a lot of times it's hard for people to tell us no. How do you tell Elvis Presley to stop doing it? People told me to stop doing it. And by the grace of a merciful God, when Janice and Coach Darrell Royal came to me and said, you have to stop acting like that. It's in McConaughey's book on page 157, I think, my little story with Coach Royal. But it's hard for people. No, You can't do that. It's hard to do that. But thank God for those people who do. And for you folks out there in radio and TV land, if you have somebody in your life who's having trouble with that, go take a hold of them by the nape of the neck and by the heart and tell them they need to do something about it. So I'm grateful to God that Darrell and Janice did it for me.
Larry, thank you for your remembrances tonight, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Larry Gatlin.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.